Hi, I'm Serena Pizan from Dating in America on RHS2, and I'm going places with Ricc Rollins, and we want you to come along.
This is Going Places. Interesting people doing interesting things in interesting places, and we want you to come along. Thanks a lot, Serena. I can't wait to have you on the show. Good morning and welcome to this edition of Going Places. I'm Ricc Rollins, and I hope your morning's amazing. Here's what's coming up on today's show. Vivian Alvarez teaches us how to make waves in 180 days. We get fit in 5 with Coach Julie, and Dr. Traci Thompson takes us on a virtual tour in our new segment called Wishing You Were Here. All of this and more coming up, you guessed it, starting right now. Vivian Alvarez is not just a Tampa native. She's a citizen of the world because she has been some of everywhere, done some of everything, and portrayed some of everybody. In case you didn't know, we're talking to the actress, the coach, the spokesperson, the picketer, because she was solidariously there with her fellow actors. And I asked her to stop by because she's adding a new title to her name, and that is author. And she is the author of, give them the title, Viv.
My Making Waves in a 180-Day Journal.
I like to let authors tell you their title because I can say it. They say it with a sense of pride and a sense of joy. So let's talk about this new project of yours. Because first of all, I didn't know you were writing a book.
I had a lot of people tell me that.
I'm supposed to know things that don't nobody else know, but I'm just giving you a hard time. I'm proud of you though. Because I think that one of the greatest things anybody can do is have a journal that allows them to share the thoughts that they need to come back and reflect on every now and then, whether it was one of their greatest moments or one of their lowest moments. So tell us why you decided to write this.
Well, you mentioned that I'm a coach. I'm an acting coach. And one of the things I start in my class each evening is I ask my clients what was a win for them, to give me 3 wins for the week.
Oh, wow.
And to my surprise, they struggle. And I know that we are busy as people in this world and navigating our lives weekly, daily, hourly, minute by minute. I can see where it was becoming overwhelming for them to answer the question. It was just like, and I would have to prompt them. I said, okay, besides from you waking up this morning, was it something that was good? Because we always remember the bad things. Okay, we always remember the things that challenge us, but we never remember the wins.
You made me want to shout right then, because that, like you said, one of the greatest wins is waking up for another day. Come on, girl. Mm-hmm. Okay. So okay. I'm listening.
So, okay, outside of that greatest win of waking up, what other wins did you have in the course of a day, of course of 2 days a week? And they would be stumped. And so I set out to try to inspire them. And one of my things about VFA, Vivian Alvarez Acting Studio, is I've always been attracted to water in all states. I love the beach. I love sunset. I love listening to the waves crashing. There's a beach in California that has all these rocks. And every time a wave comes in and out, you hear the rocks being shuffled about and everything. So every state of power of water has its own special sound, its own special aesthetic when you're looking at it. So I think the power of water and the power of thought were a good combination. Mm-hmm. So in the journal, you journal every day. If you want, you could do it every other day. You could do it when you're inspired to do it. But after 7 days of journaling, however you do it, you will go back and you'll review those 7 days of journaling, and you'll answer questions while you're looking at a beautiful body of water.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So you're going to make waves and change your creative mindset, whatever that is. If it's with your corporate business, whether you're a singer. I had one client tell me she bought it because she journals during church.
Mm.
You know, she listens to the message, and whatever comes up, she puts it on page to be inspired and be able to look at it later.
That is,
So
I love that. Pastors, you need to order this for some of your congregants, the first ladies, who have the people who really are taking notes. What a wonderful way to do this. Wow. I mean, that just made, if I had hair, it would be standing up right about now. But that's a great idea. That really is.
So, you know, I have some moments where, you know, you might have intrusive thoughts, you might have creative thoughts, you might have a poem that come to mind. Use your journal. And then you can go back, and it specifically after 7 days, it asks you, and I'll go ahead and divulge this. It prompts you to first take a minute to sit with yourself, to breathe, to get grounded, so that when you're answering these prompts, you can be real, true, and personal, so that you help get grounded in what you're doing, and in the future will be designing the life that you want. Because we're forever evolving. We never get to a destination. We get to that destination, and then we're inspired by that destination. You go in places, and you go in places, and you get to that destination, and then you're inspired by that destination, and you feel another little spark of growth, and then you got to go somewhere else, and you got to keep moving.
More with Vivian Fleming Alvarez, and we'll continue to make those 180-day waves right after this. Stay with us.
None of us has ever gotten anywhere without help.
Introducing the Nonprofit Collective.
There'll be nearly 5 million pounds of food distributed in Tampa Bay.
The Nonprofit Collective is a place for our community to come together.
We serve veterans and their families.
Help at your fingertips, where community heroes reach out to make a difference.
Who comes into this market? Our friends and neighbors.
And where those who need help find help. The Nonprofit Collective, only on RHS TV.
Welcome back to this edition of Goin Places. My special guest is Vivian Fleming Alvarez, who is an author, an actress, a acting coach. You name it, she's doing it. But one of the things she's doing really well is making waves, and she's teaching us how to do so in 180 days. Our conversation continues. Welcome back to this edition of Goin Places. I have my friend, Vivian Fleming Alvarez, with us, and we are talking about her new book. And in the last segment, you blew me away. When the break, I was saying, I just really, if I had, it's still standing up, girl. Okay, so let's talk, give them the title one more time for me.
My Making Waves in 180 Days Journal.
Okay, and so when I think about your life, you have been making waves, but not only have you been making waves, you've been making ways. Yes, ma'am.
I've been making waves.
Because if the door didn't open, you found a way in. And you didn't take no for an answer. Even when the no's came, those no's fueled you to your next yes. And I think that that's the kind of thing that people have to write about, because sometimes in our be still and know moments, whether it's know that I am God or know that I am me, or we're looking at, as my daughter Jessica says, that we know why the why is. This is important that they can reflect on that. So you were saying that there are questions that people, that they're asked in this journal, questions to ask of themselves. Let's share of those in the few minutes that we have left.
Well, I mentioned in the first segment that we were talking about wins. So basically identifying wins so that we don't get stuck in always being worried about challenges, always about worries, you know? Yes. So that's one of the things that one of the questions is to list 3 wins for the past week. And also to do a self-reflection to check with your being state. How are you feeling that day? Just get one word. I'm challenged. I'm excited. I'm blessed. I'm just one word, so that you can really just sit still with that experience and ask your question, and then feel, and be specific about the next question. Things you're looking forward to in the next week. Sometimes we forget that things are coming up in life, being hopeful, being grateful, being excited about.
Come on now.
Right? So what are you looking forward to? Your favorite conversation of the week. I have a friend, and she makes me laugh, right? And she's generally my favorite conversation of the week. And it'll just be one sentence or something she said, a turn of a phrase she said, that will make me bend over cackling. Right? And so when I have it in my journal and I'm able to reflect back on it one day when I'm not on my social media platforms, right? I'm looking in my journal and I'll see that conversation, and it'll bring that joy back.
I know one of your greatest sources of joy.
What is it? I know what you're going to say.
Baby. He's a real baby that now makes you a grandma. What is she calling you yet?
I'm a grandmother now, but AKA Mimi.
Mimi. I love it. I love it. That's amazing.
She just turned a year last week.
Yeah, what was her birthday was?
September 21st.
Of course, and she comes right before Uncle Rick. I turned 61. She's turning 61. Turning 61. Okay, so let's talk about this. One of the things I mentioned to you, and I'd love to come back and do this. I would love for us to get the journal to some people. You figure out how and what we're going to do, and have them go through this process, and then we discuss how they're making waves. I'd love to do that as a whole time special.
I would love that.
Let's plan to do that. And I want to get you in touch with Rosalind Rice, who wrote The Power of One, because what you said when you talked about one word, that's her whole philosophy, that one word changes everything. Sometimes it's yes, and sometimes it's no. Again, if you need, and you do need to get a copy of this book, I'm not talking about if you need to get it, you need to get a copy of this book. Here's the QR code. Make sure you get this book. And Vivian, thank you for being with us, and thank you for making waves, my friend, as you go places. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Well, now that you're making waves, you might as well get fit in 5, and Coach Julie's going to teach us how to do that right after this. Stay with us.
None of us has ever gotten anywhere without help.
Introducing the Nonprofit Collective.
There'll be nearly 5 million pounds of food distributed in Tampa Bay.
The Nonprofit Collective is a place for our community to come together.
We serve veterans and their families.
Help at your fingertips, where community heroes reach out to make a difference.
Who comes into this market? Our friends and neighbors.
And where those who need help find help. The Nonprofit Collective, only on RHS TV.
This is what we're going for.
The lighter side of sports.
JP looks like a hobo. I can't remember ever thinking, I need to look in the stands.
See, I was younger and single, so I was looking at the
Oh my God! Very nice.
On RHS TV.
Well, you know what time it is. It's time to get fit in 5 with Coach Julie. Take it away, Coach.
We are going to learn combination exercises. That's where you do 2 exercises that work different parts of the body at the same time. First, what we're going to do is learn the exercises separately, and then we're going to put them together. But before we get started, as a reminder, always talk to your doctor before you start any exercise program, just to be sure you're healthy enough to do it. All right, so let's start with the upper body exercises. We're going to do shoulders. So I want you to roll those shoulders back, engage those ab muscles. And we're standing shoulder width apart, feet shoulder width apart. All right, this is the shoulder raises. Up, down, up, down, up, down. 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. Next, we're going to do bicep curls. We're going to hold the weights just like this. Same grip for the weights that we did for the shoulders. I'm using 2-pound weights, by the way. So for bicep curls, up, down, up, down, up, down. 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, lower body exercises. We're going to do squats. Let's reposition shoulders back, engage those abs. All right, feet shoulder width apart. All we're doing now is taking it straight down and up. You try to keep your back as straight as possible and keep your head up, okay? Ready? Down and up. Down, up, down, up. 4 more. 3, 2, and 1, and up. All right, next lower body exercises. Exercise is split squats. We've done these before. I think we did these a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago. 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. And then all you're doing is taking it down and up. Down, up, down, up. 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. Now we're going to put these exercises together. All right, you're doing it with me, right? All right, let's go. We're doing shoulders and squats first. Ready, set, go. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, I don't know if you could hear my knee, but it was doing a little cracking while we were doing that one. All right, split squats. I'm changing legs because we did the demonstration on the other leg. All right, split squats with bicep curls. Ready, set, go. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, easy enough, right? That combination exercises makes your exercise programs more efficient, doing 2 for 1. I'll see you next time on Fit in 5. Thanks.
Thanks a lot, Coach. When we come back, we start our new segment, Wishing You Were Here. Stay with us. We'll be back right after this.
Almost want to date with someone who was possibly a murderer.
Oh my God!
Dating hazards and mishaps.
I want just a text back.
No question, no doubt about it. It's a 5.
Check out Dating in America on RHS TV.
Pirates love the booty, yeah.
Love is in the air.
I did. I brought my mom.
Well, Mom went in the car, and I didn't know this.
On Love in America, only on RHS TV.
Welcome back to this edition of Goin Places. There's a new segment that we've decided to do called Wishing You Were Here. What I've asked viewers, friends, and family to do is submit 5 photographs and come on and talk about what those photos mean to them as they've gone places. My first guest is Dr. Traci Thompson from Dr. Traci's house, and I think that you'll find her photos and her stories behind them fascinating. Take a look. I've started a new segment here, and I thought that I would ask my friends to help me with this segment. It's called Wish You Were Here. And so what we've asked them to do is give us a pictorial look at their travels and the places that they've captured that mean something to them. And I was at Dr. Traci's house, not her real house, but at the organization the other day. And I looked at all these pictures and I was like, these pictures are beautiful. She said, I took all of those. I said, bingo, you're my first guest. And I'm glad you're here, Dr. Traci. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So glad to be here.
And your work is amazing. I'm serious. It really is amazing. So let's talk about these 5 postcards, if you will, from your travels as you were going places.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So my first one is of a church. It's my home church, Jerusalem Baptist Church in Poolesville, Maryland. You may not know it, but I am a country girl at heart. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I grew up going to Sunday school.
Oh, yeah.
Church, vacation Bible school, everything.
Yeah.
And so that was my home base. And from there.
Did you go to BTU too? Did y'all do BTU? Or is that a Southern thing? Okay.
Yes. And, well, we went to the Southern Baptist Convention. I was in there. I even sung in the choir, the usher board. But I can tell you, I do not sing.
This is why we are kindred spirits, because that is my life too. Sang in the choir, but couldn't sing. And
yes.
I told my mama, they said, make him the president of the usher board. So I was the president of the usher board, but that was okay. But there's nothing like being reared in church. It gives you a foundation.
Correct.
You learn how to speak. You learn how to do so many different things. So I can understand why that means something to you. Okay, yes. So next.
Next, I have a picture of Georgetown University. That is when that picture is taken when I came back from my 20th reunion. Hadn't been back to campus for 20 years.
Wow.
And for me, it was coming back to reunion, but Georgetown has a special place in my heart because they gave me my experience, my college experience. I was on a full, basically need-based scholarship with as many Pell Grants as you could. And
I remember those. Traci, when I got my first check, they give you check. I had spent the money, and my daddy said, "Where's that? Where's?" And I said, "Well, it came to me. It was in my name." He said, "Boy, if you don't take everything you got except that one little black and white TV back."
Yes.
Give me that money. Or better yet, go put it back in the savings account. You won't be able to sit in your class. I was like, yes, sir.
Yes. So that's been the basis and for my philanthropic giving now is because they first poured into me.
Yes, yes.
And so the next picture behind me here is Johns Hopkins. It's the old hospital. And I went to medical school there on a full merit-based scholarship, and then stayed on there for residency, internal medicine residency. And that showed me the compassion, how to be empathetic. And I was there during the late 1990s when they were filming The Wire. So I never needed to watch the movie. I have not watched the series.
Oh, you lived it.
Because I lived it. Listen, they called us Osler Marines and that completed internal medicine residency, and I surely paid my dues.
I believe it.
Yes.
What's the next picture?
The next picture is the picture of the Eiffel Tower. So I was able to go to the Eiffel Tower in 2019. And I always wanted to travel. And when I stepped off the plane into the airport, I felt like I was at home.
Why is that, Traci? Share that with me.
That the fact that there were so many people who came from the United States and went to Paris and found themselves being as creatives, whether it was through the Renaissance in terms of their writing, their song, their music. It was, they accepted us back then. And I felt that acceptance there. And my roots do trace back. Actually, we grew up in a plantation called Aix-la-Chapelle, that is French. But yeah, I do have some roots.
Wow.
Okay. So yes, I felt like home.
So you went home, okay.
Yes, home. And the last one is
speaking of home.
Home is where I am right now. It's Dr. Traci's house. It's a community
phenomenal
clinic.
place.
Yes, yes, a community clinic that I started really to give back to the community, similar to one that I grew up. So we take and see patients with or without insurance, and providing them high quality health care in a place that doesn't feel like a clinic. It feels like home.
It does feel, I was going to tell you that I felt at ease and at home, and I just could have stayed for hours, but luckily, because we'd have been in that office talking.
Yes.
So, but Dr. Traci, let me tell you, thank you for sharing those 5 images. I have to tell you, each one of them touched me immensely. And that's what this whole segment is about, is touching the viewers. And so I thank you for sharing with us today pictorially. Now, here's 2 things. One, if you need more information about Dr. Traci's house, here's the QR code right now. And secondly, Doc, I have to ask a favor. Since you are the resident doc for this show, we'd love to see you more often on the show. So would you be willing to commit to 1 or 2 times a month, stopping by and telling us what you think the community needs to hear?
Most certainly.
Okay.
You know, that's what I do. That's what I do. Anything for you, Rick.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And thank you for taking us to places. You know that Dr. Seuss piece that says, "Oh, the places you shall go." And you've been some interesting places and met some interesting people. But most of all, I love the interesting things that you do. Thank you for being with us today. We'll see you soon in about 2 weeks, Doc.
Okay. Thank you. See you soon.
Okay. Hey, thanks for joining us today. What I'm asking all of our viewers, our friends, and anybody you know to do is send us 5 photos for a new segment we're doing called Wish You Were Here. All you have to do is send those 5 photos to the address that's on the screen, and who knows, you could be on the show real soon as we continue to go places. Well, we're almost out of time. I hope you enjoyed today's show. Next week, more interesting people doing interesting things in interesting places. Until then, as always, be blessed on your journey. For everyone here at Goin Places, thanks for joining us. See you next time.